Okay. We are a few days late, I think. Yeah, we're about a week late. To this, I will admit. Um, the mod went on a bit of a hiatus. Do you want to say? Oh yeah, I forgot we can't random on this. So I'm just gonna sort of look away and yeah, the mod. I think the last time it was updated was in June or May, I want to say. I'm actually realizing now that I'm fairly sure that if I just go through these, what's it? This one. I'm just, you know, just play it safe. Yeah, the mod. It's been months since it was last updated. And oh yeah, I forgot how shit this map was for this game mode. Completely forgot, but we can do this. It's the only benefit. So yeah, it went on a.
Supply pad complete.
You know, it just went on a few months of not being updated, and when it was being sort of worked on very actively, I would check back fairly often. You know, because it's fucking open a single page. It's not some extreme time investment or anything. But when it gone on sort of, oh, that's so nice. On a bit of a hiatus, it's like, okay, well, you know, do I want to keep checking back on a page that seems to just be completely inactive? And so I sort of stopped checking until, you know, I'd go back like every week or every other week and just see. And yeah, I did that last night and saw that, hey, mod's been updated. And I would assume that most people here don't follow me anywhere else. And so I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm digging a fucking pond entirely by hand because I have some sort of brain damage. And the issue is, it's taking forever, and fucking hate it. And I was planning to just be like, oh, I'm gonna take a break today, and just come and check out this new mod. This new mod update. Sorry, terribly inoptimal. Oh no. But yeah, I was planning on just being like, oh, get back to digging tomorrow. And then I woke up to the sound of it fucking chucking it down, so I don't even need to make that excuse. Fucking country did it for me.
Supply pad complete.
But yeah, other than that, it's basically all I've been fucking doing over the past few months anyway.
Reactor claim.
I will. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Local units.
Just gonna bring these ones over. I don't think we need to worry about all of them.
Turret complete.
seems actually fairly reasonable setup.
Fortress upgrade complete.
Do we go double reactor? I don't think we do. Because I think what we do is just bring one guy right here. I'm once again reminded how much, like, just the range issue on flamethrowers compared to jackals.
Reactor complete. New blood. Research.
No, that's. No, I don't want your fucking supplies. I want you to fucking defend yourself, you idiot. Thank you for letting me get that off, though. I guess, you know, we are playing vehicle guy. We should go vehicles. So I have not read any of the improvements, any of the updates. I think that should be straight down the middle. We should be able to sneak in.
Vehicle depot.
Just about. Yeah, I didn't read any of the patch notes. I did read
RPG.
like one thing, and it's like, this is all I remember was anti-air marine, which is an anti-air marine. You know? It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, more variety. There's nothing wrong with it. These are, I believe, or at least the top one, I think, is sort of unique to this guy. I'm also not, it's been a while, and I'm not entirely sure
Medic research.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure when we start getting vehicles. I would assume next round based on, you know, hunters. I want to start thinking about cobras, and I want to start thinking about taking that base. What are you... Where the fuck did he come from? Yeah, because... Yeah, I mean, if that guy can do it, then why the fuck am I?
Canister shell research.
Okay, so I'm noticing one slight oversight, shall we say,
Research.
in the fact that these have the same description. I'm just gonna build a few. Probably not the best. We probably should just, you know, stick with Marines, considering they're completely upgraded, but there is also no reason for us not to do something like this. I'm still not entirely... No, don't launch an attack there. That's my fucking base. Launch an attack on this guy. So I think... What?
Turret complete.
Okay, so I think that the mod might have, like this survival mode might have been updated, because I don't remember that happening before. Oh no, is that how they've always got here? Sorry, I'm just gonna...
All units.
Get the upgrade in. I think that might have how... I think that might have been how it was always. Oh, we should get spawns, shouldn't we? I will do the same thing as always, where I just throw them in a tank and forget about them. I'm not sure if I like purple helping us.
All units. I see it. All units.
Like, yeah, I like that he's helping us because, I mean, it makes our job easier and...
Engagement.
The engagement. Oh, it's the fucking Warthog. Yeah, I like that he's making our job easier. I don't like that he is allowing himself to have this happen. And also the fact that he hasn't upgraded this base. I'm also sort of realizing that normally if I, you know, as I say, it's been quite a while since I played. Oh no. No, it's only if they're in this state that they get rebuilt, I think.
All units. All units.
Yeah, normally if it's been a while since I've recorded anything, I'll, you know, do a quick test before
Power turret.
sitting down for half an hour or so to just to make sure that everything's still working. And I'm realizing I haven't done that, and I fucking hope that this is recording.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I've been playing recently is it SDK? I think. I think like the Python mods.
Research.
I think it's called Python SDK, at least. For OK, so they do actually have different upgrades and
Firebase ready.
are correct. Yeah, I've been playing the Python mods for Borderlands, and on one hand, they're, you know,
Grizzly. Research.
it's kind of cool. On the other hand, Jesus fuck, it makes the game horribly unstable. Is this a free slot?
All units.
I
Supply
would, but
pack
I would also like you to
All
actually
units.
sort of fight things.
All
Why are
units.
these bases free? I don't like that. You know, I would quite like to
Base under attack. Firebase ready. All units.
yeah, I think we might lose this one. I have no idea what that did, sorry. Oh, it draws in 3 war. Okay.
Firebase ready. Air pad complete.
Healing target.
I mean, if we can save it, I will be fucking surprised, but... yeah, I never find...
Focusing lens. Research.
Warthogs are just a bit shit, aren't they?
All units.
Target acquired. In my sight.
Shield. Research.
Initial coordinate bombs out.
All units.
I'll just do this. You know, I could sit here and get these things upgraded. What I will do is I will start a new one on a 1v1.
All units.
I got it.
Why would you do that? Game sometimes.
Where do you want me?
Ceramic armor. Research. All units.
No, stop. What the fuck is wrong with you? Move out of the turret range. It's not hard. But yeah, I'm just gonna focus on those guys. I don't think it really matters too much. Yeah, so it seems like they've always come in by spirit. I think that's what they're called. It's just that I've never caught them sort of off guard before. This might not actually win now that there's now that these guys showed up. I didn't realise we'd still got Spartans. But yeah, let's be honest. It would be pretty fucking redundant for me to keep going against this. I don't know why these didn't rebuild. Yeah. How the fuck did we come first? I guess because we got the same... Because we killed more things despite losing more things and somehow didn't have a better economy. Like, we had 4 supply pads from the start, plus the 4 on the base. And that's not even considering that we completely left this guy. Whereas this guy just had 5. You know what I mean? How did we have a worse economy? We had almost double the amount of supply pads that he did for the entire game. Like, how did we do worse? I don't get it. Like, these are still basic ones. I think it is just the AI cheating. I was gonna say I don't think there's any new maps. Can't remember what Barons is. I guess we just leave it on Blood Gulch, and I'll do Footsville. We'll go on Anders. Sorry, we did pick Flood Survival. I'm just gonna come and poke this guy just to see. I know that this is gonna be a flood base. And I know that this one will, but I'm not sure if... I think because maybe in the game this is still technically has a basin until we sort of update it. Yeah, the enemy's enemy's dead. Sorry to tell you that, but yeah, I think that now we've updated it to be one of these. It'll get replaced at the 5-minute mark. I think that might have been why those starting to on the other map weren't.
Supply pad complete.
I think you still are kind of. I think it's just a requirement that you have to go barracks, especially on this map where you've got 2 supply pads and 2 reactors for free if you do. Because these just like the AI on them. If you haven't watched the last videos, they were a while ago to be honest. The AI on these guys is essentially non-existent. They just run forward essentially, and that's it.
Marines, hoorah! Standing by. Moving.
You know, they just spawn out of here and move command to the nearest base, and that's
Standing by. Moving. Moving. Moving.
that's how it works. They will never go after stuff like this,
Supply pad complete.
Standing by.
at least in my experience, and I hope I will not be proven wrong, but
Marines on the ground, sir. Standing by. Moving.
send these guys that way, make some defensive shit. Also, if you haven't watched the other ones, the
Moving.
consensus that we came to
Standing by.
is that the flood survival is the easiest.
Complete.
The Forerunner one
Attack.
is, yeah, I'm not worried at all.
Light 'em up.
The Forerunner one is,
Standing by.
you know,
Moving.
more difficult but still possible.
Reactor claimed.
Standing by.
And then the
Moving.
UNSC and the Covenant ones are just kind of really hard. You can also see, yeah, so we
Supply pad upgraded.
do seem to have, I don't want to say the same units, because, I mean, obviously these are not the same units, but
Local units. Reactor claimed. Supply pad upgraded.
you know what I mean, it's, you know, is a Grunt Squad a different unit to a Marine Squad? Technically, yes. Does that really matter? You know, is there any tangible difference? I mean, probably in this, you know, there probably is differences between the Hydra and the Rocket Marine.
This upgrade complete.
I will do that once again. We don't have. Oh yeah, sorry. Fucking camouflaged and blending in. Upgrading the abilities, even stuff like this. Most of them give flat stat bonuses to units. We can also get the flame mortars.
Flashbang. Research. Reactor complete.
I mean, we've got to go air pads just because we're airwoman.
Improved.
That's just how it works. I'm not sure if giving the flame mortar and stuff has any statistical bonus, actually, now that I think about it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if upgrading this gives anything
Napalm
better
coherent. Research.
than just the flat, you know, adds another attack. I'm not entirely sure if every single
Air pad complete.
upgrade.
Reactor
We do
improved.
get the worst unit in the entire franchise that I've played, and
Research.
admittedly I didn't play past oh yeah, I forget you need the field armory upgrades to even build these. Yeah, I didn't play past 4, I think it is. I think 4's the one in the MCC.
Flamethrower. Ready to burn.
And yeah, the Starfighter mission is the one that makes me lower the difficulty every single time.
Flamethrower ready, sir.
It's like these so fucking dumb. Oh no, actually these are completely locked off.
Standing by. We're going.
Sorry, I want you guys to come back.
Horn it up.
Okay, I might have underestimated flood swarms. We're gonna be fine. We're just gonna be maybe not where we should be. That's my fault. I'll get supply gathering. Once again, it probably has some stat bonus. It's hidden. And also I want whatever's after it, which I'm fairly sure is just a better ground attack. I don't think these are going to do anything. I can't remember if they do anything in the campaign either.
High torque joint researched.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just get, you know, upgrades, because I mean, we might as well. I will say that when I was
New blood.
I didn't read the patch notes. I just sort of
Gunner researched.
looked at them and saw that they were there.
Shot research.
I think, you know, just like if it said, you know, added new units, it's like, okay, I know what to look for. You know, because I don't want to come in and be like, oh, there's something new added, and it's like, oh yeah, it was a minor bug fix or something like that.
RPG research.
You know, I want to sort of have an idea what's been updated. I think that most of the most of the new units, most of the changes, I want to say, were to UNSC shit. So I don't think there was any new Covenant stuff.
Medic researched.
I mean, surely we should be able to put them in. The problem with air stuff is it's a bit squishy, and you know, I mean, Hornets are squishy. Vultures, you can't put a Spartan in.
Research.
So, you know, I mean, they're just not as defensive as the vehicles are, and so, I mean, plus also if you're playing as Forge, you can easily repair the vehicles. But I guess that doesn't matter too much because, you know, that exists. Yeah. See, I mean, there are certain things that you just can't put a Spartan in, which is, you know, let me just check. Yeah, it's going to be for balancing reasons. The problem is when I'm playing as Anders, it's like, okay, well, what do I do with them? That's like the cover the UNSC thing. That's like the thing, and I'm not sure what to do with my unique thing, and so we will stick them in this strange Hornet. Nope, can't even do that. We could get them up to Hawks. I fucking hate what came to my mind.
All units.
Do we have enough? Probably.
All units.
Am I sort of cucking myself by not getting a vehicle pad and not getting a... Well, actually, no, that's the thing that I've sort of said about this upgrading system is it's not really useful in this game mode specifically, because this game mode has like 2 phases,
Piercing shot.
and there's like quite a harsh line between them. You're either early enough in the game where you're having to sort of do this and defend out the base, where you know you're using turrets, or you're in the part of the game where you can, you know, take all this and just go take all the bases. There isn't really a stage where you're the large turret field armory upgrade. You know, it takes a while to get to, and it's not cheap, and a lot of the time it's like, well, why don't I simply just not bother? Because did my turrets even fire once? It's just one of those things where it could just be me, is the thing, and so I don't really want to say too much on it, because it might just be my playstyle of field armory, kind of cringe. Don't like it. Thumbs down.
All
Um,
units.
I see it. Marines reporting for duty. Where to?
I think I'm just gonna leave the Spartans as Spartans,
On my mark. Grenade out.
just because I don't see a use for them at the moment. Sorry, hold on. Next step. Okay.
All units.
Cringe. Sorry. Having something delivered in an hour or 2, apparently. And if only it was what I really wanted. I've got one thing that's sort of in the process of being made. You know, like custom things are cool. It's also like, oh yeah, may take a month for manufacture and
Path pods research.
so I think 15 to 30 days
All units.
for shipping, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, we could upgrade spawns, but do I really care? There's one thing I always say in these videos,
Where to?
and I never fucking remember. No, you're. Yeah, I was gonna say you're on the warthog there. Same thing that I always say. Does upgrading this give the spawns a benefit to piloting?
Local units.
On the way.
And I never remember to check, and that will continue. I will continue to keep forgetting that's even a mechanic. If I'm being completely honest,
Research.
as soon as I exit this game, I pretty much forget that it exists.
Enemy engagement.
You know, I'm not.
Fire base ready.
I'm not sort of on my own. You know, just thinking like, oh, gaming. You know, that's not a thought that goes through my mind. Sorry, no. From here anyway. I
Station
mean, speaking of gaming, hey, a game that I'm actually somewhat interested in is it's the Civ 7.
Horn it up.
Supply pad.
It's the gameplay
complete.
reveal trailer today, and I have absolutely zero expectations and fully expect it to be shit,
Hornet moving.
like the last 3 games. Sorry, hold on. Oh, okay. Between 5 and 7, not in the next couple hours. Yeah, hot take. Civ 5 was
Vehicle
boring,
complete.
and the only thing that made it even somewhat remotely interesting was the modding scene.
Barrage research.
As with the case for most 4X games, if I'm being completely honest, most of them, you know, shoving the game full
Upgrade complete.
of as many mods as
Enemy
possible
engagement.
is fun.
Field armory complete.
That's what I like the most. And the base game of especially 6 is just not very good. Actually, I think the base game of Civ 5, I bought Civ 5 after it finished. Sorry, we have
Research.
Where to?
Anders.
Focusing lens. Research.
Anders, you appear to be
Supply pad complete.
a male with a turban.
Right away.
Okay. Page 2.
Spartan laser. Research.
So you are a sort of support person. Super Repair was actually pretty good. I forgot about that. Yeah, Civ as a series is just boring. The base game is just boring.
Research.
You know, I know it's like it's the 4X game, but it's just kind of shit. And I will say something incredibly controversial because apparently people dislike the game. Humankind as a 4X game is fundamentally better just as a base game without any mods, as just a game straight off the shelf. You know, like proverbially, like put it in the disk drive and that's all you've got. Humankind is objectively better, and I don't care if people hate it. It is a better game. You know, I understand why people hate it, but
Repair kit.
it's better than Civ, in my opinion. And so Civ 7, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the gameplay reveal, and I'm probably not gonna buy the game because there is no point in buying a Civ game until the DLCs are finished, because you know for a fact that you know the modding scene won't be around until it's
Power turret research.
until those final DLCs are sort of finished properly, because you know
Cryo bomb improved.
there will be a modding scene for Civ 7, but from my experience with Civ 6 updates, yeah, it's very intermittent. It's half the fucking time they spend
Turret complete.
trying to update and get it to work with the newest, you know, Fire Access updates.
Piercing shot research.
I've got everything, haven't I? Yeah. You know, I mean,
Reserves research.
like what I wish for 4X games is I wish that Humankind, I wish that was just made by Firaxis. I wish that Humankind was made by a dev team that actually gave a shit and finished the game.
Healing targets.
That's pretty much all. That's all I want from a 4X game.
Launchers reset.
Plus, also, I got into 4X, 4X, into Humankind again fairly recently. And one of the things that I miss incredibly dearly is, I think it's called Resources Expanded or something like that. It's the, it used to be like, I think there were 4. There used to be like the 4 mods that you play. There was the Super Pack, there was ENC, there was Naval Combat, and then there was Resources Expanded. And that was like my favorite mod, and
Turret upgraded.
it is apparently completely broken due to updates that completely changed how
Researched.
like the AI worked,
Amplifier research.
and completely broke the mod that the guy was just unable to fix, and so it's been on essentially a hiatus all this time. The thing is,
All units.
like, one of the things I hate about Civ is that, my god, the modding support is terrible.
Strafe. Researched.
Like, the amount of times
Enemy
I've loaded up a game and it's just randomly said, like, oh yeah,
All
the
units.
game that you were playing yesterday that worked perfectly fine, now something is broken, please disable all mods and just try again.
Repair kit. Research.
I'm not sure what the second upgrade there was. I think it was an EMP thing. But yeah, Civ mod support is fucking annoying. Whereas, Factorio is the gold standard, expected comma at line, 142, position 12, and that's why it didn't work. Whereas Civ, yeah, disable mods and try again. Like, yeah, thanks, very, very helpful. I want to look forward to it, I want to enjoy it. But I know that fundamentally I'm probably just gonna not enjoy it. I'm probably just gonna not buy it. I'm gonna get these things though.
Repair kit.
I'm gonna build a siege turret just to see what it does. But you see what I mean? Like, how much time it took? Okay, we got a load of other things. Yeah. But you see how much time it took to get to these turrets? It's just one of those things that just isn't really viable in this game mode. Not saying that they're useless, just that they are incredibly hard to actually get any use from in this specific game mode. In the actual normal skirmish, it would probably be a lot better. Because that's sort of more,
Turret complete.
I don't want to say more balanced, but
Adrenaline research.
I mean, I've always said with this mod that the, especially if you can get here and pick them off as they spawn, if you can make it so you're fighting, 50 versus 2 instead of 50 versus the 20 that might spawn.
All units.
Bringing the chill. Dropping the cold.
All units.
I think we saved that saber. that what they called? No, I think it died.
Cryobomb improved.
Did that? Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Saber. Man, what a shit mission. It's just one I think I've spoken before that I normally play a game on Heroic, I think.
All units.
It's just one of those things where Heroic, you know, normally you've got like cover and stuff. Normally aim matters. But no. Not on that fucking mission it don't.
Hornet here. On my way. Where to? I'll get it.
Yeah.
Where to? I'm on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as we're outside the range for that thing. I think I completely missed with that, but where's the last spawn? There.
Where to?
I'm gonna hop in this guy.
All units.
Just because that is a fairly substantial boost. I forget exactly the number, it's either 13 or 17% per star, normally capped at 3 like these guys.
Units.
On the way.
Guys are gonna come back, just to get out of the range of that thing. Yeah, so, sorry, is it armor or health? To 1 defensive stat, and another 13 or 17% to damage. And so, you know, you've given it an extra, essentially 100%. You've essentially doubled its damage by putting this guy in here. You know, taking it from that 3-star to 10.
Turret complete.
Not quite how that works. Not quite 100%, but you know, fucking video game, not maths. Okay, so we are getting Floodwalkers now, which, yeah, no, that seems about
Improved.
on time, and they're probably gonna disappear just as. Oh no.
Turret complete.
Maybe not. Oh, maybe they will. I think that the issue is that everything had to move before it could attack it, but
Turret improved.
you know, I mean, I just don't think there's. I think the scaling is just a bit off for some of them. You know, not saying that it's not a fun game mode, but I just, you know, give me a difficulty setting that's a bit more. Well, no, don't give me a harder difficulty, because
Freeze them up. Ice out.
you know, I mean the
Turret improved.
like, how'd you put it? The difficulty isn't the problem. The scaling is. Which, yeah, as I said, I've been playing Borderlands recently. I was it's a cross-class skill randomizer. That's pretty fun conceptually until you realise that to make the most out of it, you want to play at
Your team is victorious.
level 80. and then you realize that to play at level 80 means everything else is level 80, and my god, does that make it unfun and fucking boring. So we killed a lot of Marines, as expected. We also trained a lot of Marines. We trained 20 and 5 and 9 and 2. But yeah, as I say, I mean, it has... Oh no, sorry, I can't go and dig the pond because there's a parcel coming between 5 and 7, so that's why I can't go and dig the pond in the morning. I probably should, because it's just rained, and the problem with digging at the moment is that it is sort of, the soil is so clay heavy. It just... yeah, boring. No, it's so clay heavy and dry that you're not really digging, you're just sort of mining. You know what I mean? The clumps are coming off more like how a rock would. You know, it's not digging through soil, it's just digging through a soft rock. And you know, the Muttock is great for doing it, but my god, does that thing hurt if you fucking hit a rock? If all that energy goes straight into your hands, holy shit, it fucking hurts. And as well, you know, I am 6'4", I think, somewhere around there, and yeah, the handle was made for someone about a foot shorter than I am, and so well, yeah, your back really doesn't like doing that. But yeah, overall, I mean, one of the most interesting mods got an update, you know, more content. I will say that I think the most excited I will be for this mod specifically is when it comes to you know, the thing that I want to see most is a rebalance of the survival mode. But I understand, you know, there are other people playing this that you know, that was like 100 downloads or so, which is always strange to me. Like, I don't know, it's the same thing with Humankind I was talking about earlier. I think it's ENC that it's still like actively updated, and it's like people are still playing these games. Oh, and ENC, yeah, I'm great mod. I really like how it updates all the time and constantly fucking causes conflicts, especially in Humankind, which has a better and simultaneously worse mod support than fucking Civ 6 does. If I could be bothered, I would go and recode all of the all of the Factorio mods, because they do need a lot of they need a lot of help to work together. You know, Pteranodons is not meant to be played with any other mods, so the guy that makes it, you know, in some ways he makes it as hard as possible to play with other mods because, you know, he doesn't want people playing it in conjunction with any other, like, gameplay change mods. However, BNA is just better. I just prefer certain things from BNAs. And there are other specific changes that I like to make with Pteranodons. You know, specifically the fucking nitrogen dioxide. You know, all I'm saying is that you can make nitrogen dioxide without the fucking arbor process. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, the mod support is great, but can I be bothered to make it work? But yeah, I mean, I know exactly what I'm going to go and do, because I've just seen the fact that this is already an hour long. I'm going to go and reheat this hot chocolate that I made with the intention of drinking it after about half an hour when it would still be hot. And yeah, it isn't. I want a hot drink because it's fucking chucking it down. Well, it's not anymore, but it weren't even raining that badly, if I'm being completely honest. It's like, yeah, drizzle, but I've had to I had to take a load of sand out of one of the crab tanks, and there's this anaerobic bacteria that ends up creating a load of sulfites, I think. A load of sulfurous compounds. And well, you know, sulfurous compounds in a crab tank, you know, sulfur dioxide and, you know, sulfur monoxide. I believe sulfur dioxide definitely reacts with water to make sulfuric acid. And well, when your animals breathe with gills that have to be wet, you know, it's something that creates acid on contact with water is maybe not the best idea. Plus, also, they like, you know, the bacteria likes to make hydrogen sulfide, which is sort of in the same lethality range, the same sort of, you know, I mean, if you have a hydrogen sulfide detector, it will go off in the same ranges as a hydrogen cyanide detector. You know, one is technically, cyanide is like technically twice as strong, but at the same time, you're talking about such minuscule amounts. You know, it's like saying, oh yeah, you know, one chemical will kill you in like a single grain of sand, and the other takes two, and it's like, okay, but 2 grains of sand is still fuck all, if we're being real. And so I had to leave a big tub the sand side just to sort of air dry. And well, it's outside and it's raining, so it's going really well with the whole air drying thing. Anaerobic bacteria being killed by oxygen was the first poison on Earth. Oxygen. But yeah, Grabs need a new tank, and to do that, the problem is Crabs need a lot of sand. They need a foot deep of sand. Have any idea how much that weighs? The amount of sand that we need to put in the tank is actually really rather substantial. And when you work it out, the tank is going to be like the surface area is going to be a meter squared. And it's like, okay, it also needs to be a foot deep. So what's that? That's like 0.3 cubic meters. Okay. What's the density of sand? And it's like, oh, 2 tons per cubic meter. And so it's like, oh, cool. That's only 700 fucking kilos of sand. Obviously, it's spread over a square meter, and so technically the amount of force on the floor is not that much. Bearing in mind, we are not talking about the ground floor, we are talking about upstairs, where this will be going, and so it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it won't be 600 kilos of sand, because, it will probably be, like, close to 3-ish hundred, just based on the fact that, there's going to be a soil area, there's going to be areas that have nothing because of, they need big swimming pools. But then, how much does water weigh? It's only, water still weighs half as much as sand does. So you're not really saving that much weight. You are, because it's probably going to be more shallow. But then you've also got to factor in the weight of the wood that you're going to use, and you've got to factor in all that shit, and it's like, okay, it's going to be quite heavy. But, and I bought so many. Well, no, I didn't. I bought 4 plants. hardly so many. I bought them a bamboo, which is doing really good, and I'm really glad that I bought it, because I've got these like long, thin. I think they're meant for like windowsill planters. I've got 2 of them, which. Sorry, I'm only using 1 of them, actually. But yeah, I was hoping that, I would buy this bamboo thing and it would fucking spread. And so far it has it looks so fucking dumb. There's like a 50 centimeter wide pot, and in there it's like 20 centimeters nothing on each side, and then just like in the middle 10 centimeters it's just this like thick bamboo forest, and it's like, oh god, it's fucking spread sideways, please. I've considered chopping it up and sort of spreading it around manually, But I sort of want it to, if the crabs are going to destroy it, it's going to be more likely to be destroyed. You know what I mean? If it's a load of small plants, it's probably not going to live up to crab abuse, whereas if it's one tight little clump, it probably will be fine. And then I bought a sugar cane. I was looking at buying some, and it's like, okay, go online, and sugarcane is one of those things that just gets absolutely flooded with utter shite. If you look at sugarcane seeds, you will very quickly see that most of them are not even pretending to be sugarcane. There was one listing that was just obviously using a fucking marigold. And it's like, yeah, no, those are not even remotely similar. But then if you look at the description, most of them will even tell you that the seeds are not sugarcane and that they are in fact Chinese sorghum, which is not the same plant, not even the same genus. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, kind of related, but not really. And so the other thing is, no one grows sugarcane from seeds. You grow it from cuttings of canes. And so I was looking at importing some cane cuttings, and the only ones that actually have the nodule where new plants grow from are already rooted. And it's like, can I import a random chunk of plant that has like already obviously roots and shoots growing out of it? Can I import that from Sri Lanka? It's like, I don't think customs are gonna be too happy with me if I try and do that. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it, especially because it was like 20 fucking quid in postage. It's like, nah, no thanks. You know, if they were asking 20 quid for the plant, that would be different. But it's like, you know, fiver for the I think it was 5 cuttings, and then 20 quid for the fucking it's like, nah, it's not worth it. Fiver for the plants, you know, quid each. Yeah, that's a good deal. 20 quid for postage, though, that just makes it not worth it. Especially considering it's more than likely going to get confiscated. Just like seized at the border. And then randomly I checked again like 2 weeks later, and someone's just fucking selling them from England. Like, not even cuttings, they're just selling a plant from England. And it's like, oh, cool. And so that's another thing that will go in the crab tank that's going to be probably about 3 foot of growing space when the plant grows to be about 8 foot, I think it is. So that's going to be very, you know, it's going to definitely grow to its full potential. Sort of, it will be intentionally stunted because, you know, I'm not starting a fucking sugarcane plantation in my bedroom. I just want them somewhere to grow on, somewhere to fucking climb on that they won't, you know, they won't kill them if they eat it. And then the other thing is, speaking of things being fucking eaten, is I bought some staghorn ferns. Really cool plants, and I thought, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'll do. I'll get some, saved some tree branches that we had. We had a tree fall over. It was it was a maple tree, so perfectly fine for the crabs to use. did check beforehand, because it's more fucking effort than anything, I swear. But we saved all these nice branches, these nice thick ones that they'll love to climb on. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll mount a couple of these staghorn ferns on those branches, and so I ordered a couple, and they're mounted, and they seem to be, you know, doing perfectly fine. Then I realised that the crabs are going to be walking all over them. I don't know if they're going to like that. And so those might end up living somewhere else. I don't know where, because I don't have room for giant fucking branches to just be laying around. But yeah, and then there's also the other animal issue of, you know, my cat is just check, it's the 20th today. He is 20 years old in 3 days. Yeah, that's a cat being 20 years old is kind of old, not very young. And I want a dog afterwards. I want an Akita, and you know, there's some puppies for sale in England right now, and they are still cute, and there is nothing wrong with the normal ones. However, I want the long-haired version, and the long-haired version is a sort of, you know, it's genetic, and it was inherited from when the actor was crossbred with the, I think it's Sakhalin Husky. And that was when the actor was still known as the Odate, and when the whole renaming and re-everythinging happened, you know, when the breed was restored, I think is the word that people use the most, in the aftermath of World War II. You know, they still didn't like Russians very much, and so having Russian genes in your Pride of Japan dog is, you know, they didn't really like that too much, and so it was considered a crossbreed, a fault, essentially. It was considered something wrong with the dog. And so they were essentially considered like borderline mongrels, and not allowed to compete in dog shows. That rule still stays even to this day, despite the fact that the sort of consensus on the long-haired gene has changed, and a lot of people see it as a sort of a fourth coat type. You know, there's like 3 different colors and then a different length, essentially. Most people aren't looking at it as a, you know, horrible affront to nationalism that it once was. The issue is that they are still banned from dog shows, and well, most people breeding dogs in this country are either the offspring of dog show dogs, or they are, you know, that's what they're being bred for. And so trying to find one in England is nigh on impossible. There was one a while ago. Well, there was 2. There was one about 2 years ago. This is how long I've been looking for one, by the way. There was one 2 years ago, and it was really cute, but something was a bit off with it. And when you look at it a bit closer, it's like, oh, yeah, that's because the mother's a crossbreed. Like a full-on crossbreed. And it's like, oh, okay. That's why it looks so strange. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna look like its mother, which doesn't look like how I want it to. And so it's like, okay, you know, let someone else have that one. And then there was a really cute one over the last Christmas. The problem being we still have the cats. Still have the cat. Still have the cat. It's one of those things where realistically it wouldn't be an issue. You know, when you're dealing with like cats and dogs together, in general, it's the like if you can choose, I mean, it's better to have a puppy and a kitten, but it's like if one has to be an adult, it's a lot better to have an adult cat and a puppy rather than an adult dog and a kitten. You know, the cat would probably be fine. It would just be sort of unneeded stress for him, though, especially considering once again he's 20 years old. And so it's just like, on one hand, you know, really want this dog because it's been like 2 fucking years of looking and finding nothing, which is, you know, close to maybe 3 at this point. And I really want one, but, you know, is it fair on the cat? Kinda, yeah. But it's like at this point, you know, by the time it's done with puppy training, we probably won't have a cat. But at the same time, we said that around Christmas when I saw that, you know, that one. Well, it was pre-Christmas. It was like October. It just took until Christmas for it to be adopted. I think it was January for it to be adopted, actually. But you know, I don't pay that much attention to other people's dogs, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. Get on eventually. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, like I was a long time ago now. I was sort of asking, like, you know, hey, I want this breed, but I don't really have any experience. Would it be, because the actor is very, it's very like loyal to you. You know what I mean? They're very protective and defensive. And that can lead to some potential aggression, which is not the same. You know, it's not like XL bully tier shit. It's just like, you know, if you don't socialize a dog properly, it might be aggressive, which, you know, that's not an Akita problem. That's just a dog problem. It's just that it's more pronounced with the Akita. And I asked somewhere, like, fucking on Reddit, number one mistake, Reddit. I asked on there, like, hey, you know, should I even consider adopting one? Like an adult, you know, like a rescue. I was like, because, I'm not dumb enough. I know the nature of them. I'm not coming in knowing nothing. It's just I have no. There's a big difference between like learned experience and hands-on experience. And I said, like, look, puppy training is not good. No one likes puppy training. And, I would rather not do that. I would rather, go with a rescue because no one likes puppy training. Like, it's just complete cope if they say that they do. No one likes it. No one wants their floors to be pissed and shit on. No one wants all of their furniture to be chewed up, and no one wants to deal with that. And it is complete cope if you think you do. Plus also, the puppies aren't that cute. They're just not. It's the same thing with babies. I don't get it. It's like, how is this cute? you know. Um, but I thought, and apparently it was controversial to say that puppy training is not something I want to go through. Because Redditors just kind of don't understand nuance, is the thing. There's a difference between saying, I, would rather adopt a rescue because, I know that this dog can have potential issues if not socialized completely the best. And so I would rather adopt a dog that has already gone through all of those issues because, no one wants to deal with that sort of stuff. There's a difference between saying that and saying, I hate looking after dogs and I don't want to look after one. It's like, I will train a puppy and I've got no problems doing that, but, you're coping if you think that you enjoy it. It's not fun. I know enough about, just because I don't have any, major experience doesn't mean I don't know things. And, there's a reason why there's that like postpartum depression, but for getting a dog. There's that like regret, that like after the honeymoon period of like, oh, dogs are cute, I love this thing. And, when it sort of sets in that, wow, this is going to be a lot of work, that's a thing for a reason. And I'd rather not go through that, but if I have to, then I have no issues doing it. It's just, it's the same thing with the fucking crabs. Like, I bought 3 new ones a while ago now. And it's like, the tank I was already wanting to upgrade because it's just not the best. I want a nice planted tank and I want a bigger one so that I could put more crabs in anyway. And so I got more crabs, and it's like, yeah, they're perfectly fine in the tank as they are, but they definitely do want a bigger tank now. Like, instead of me wanting a tank, it's like the crabs need a new one rather than me wanting to give them a new one. And so I asked on Reddit, and my god, people are fucking insufferable. I was like, yeah, long story short, I've gone from wanting a new tank to needing one. Can anyone give me advice on how to deal with the fact that it's going to weigh a fucking literal ton? And all of the comments were, hey, you're a terrible person. Why are you buying more crabs? Why aren't you adopting them? It's like, for the love of fucking Christ. You're in the hermit crab ownership subreddit and you're pissed off that people are buying hermit crabs. It's like, yeah. It's it's that whole America-centric idea of like, if a problem exists in America, it exists in the rest of the world. It's just that sort of American, like, ego shit. Because there are a lot of issues with, you know, crabs being sort of over-collected and sold as essentially children's toys in America. They're not over here. They're not over-collected. Based on the fact that I've been looking for the 2 types of crab that I bought. I've been looking for them for, once again, literal years, and have never seen them for sale because they're not over-collected. They're over-collected in America where they're sold as children's toys. They're not over here. They're sold as pets to people that know what they're doing and will look after them properly. And then the other one was like, why don't you adopt? And it's like, I said in the fucking post, I've waited years to find these, these types. And it's like, yeah, years of looking. You think I didn't fucking look on adoption websites? Obviously I did. Obviously I looked through adoption sites to see if they had these types of crabs that I want. And, yeah, I could have got more purple pinchers, but is that not the same issue that you were talking about earlier, where it's like, oh, over collection, I don't want more purple pinchers, so buying more of them, that would lead, that's just sort of ownership for ownership's sake. I've already got 2, so why would I want 3 more of those? I want different types, and that's why I bought different types. But apparently that makes me a horrible person or some shit, and you can tell they're American, for one, because they always reply in the afternoon, and you can tell they're American because when you call them a moral fagging cunt, they act like you've just shot their mother, despite it being objectively just fucking true. It's like, yeah, you are moral fagging and you are being a cunt. Apparently that word, apparently saying cunt is like saying nigger in America, which apparently they're just as bad. Whereas, Americans should know most. Most of all, there are contexts where, it's not a horrible slur because that applies for both of them. It's almost as if words have different meanings or implications based on context. Who could have ever thought about that? Obviously not Americans, but, it's not only that they're Americans, it's that they're American Redditors. It's like, oh god. Is there a word? Yeah, there is. American Tumblr users, especially in modern day. Admittedly, most of that died off when the porn exodus happened, because, it's almost as if insufferable people grouped together or something. It's almost as if the sort of insufferable, like, politically correct people were all Kumas with no life and a porn addiction, and surely not. Surely they're all well-adjusted individuals, aren't they? But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I went to a hermit crab subreddit to improve the lives of my hermit crabs because they need a bigger tank now, and I was told that I should improve the lives of my hermit crabs because I'm being a terrible owner. And it's like, yeah, this is your fucking job. And you know, I'll admit I completely derailed the thread. Like there was like the first reply was like, "Why did you buy him? Why did you buy more of them if you don't have the room for them?" And it's like, because I do have, you know, I was going to reply to them, but it's like, if I reply to this person, it will derail the thread, so I'm just going to block them and ignore them. The second person replied of like, you know, wouldn't it be a better idea to move them downstairs? Which is one of those like surface level observations that, you know, do you think I've not thought of that? If I think the tank's going to be too heavy for being upstairs, do you not think I would have already thought of moving it downstairs? That's like the first thought that anyone would have. And then the third person was like the same as the first, and it's like, oh, you're being a terrible person. And so I just said, like, they have plenty of room. They're fine in the tank that they are now. It's just they need an upgrade in the near future. You know, please stop moral fagging. And then the thread completely derailed. And instead I sent a message to someone that was, you know, that I knew would build a tank from scratch, and they gave me some actual decent advice on how building tanks work. And, you know, just running through the numbers with them that, you know, I've got a fish tank, and when I look at it, it's probably, I don't know, so it's like an inch. You know what I mean? So it's probably like, what, 3 inches squared in total that the feet are. Is that right? No, I think it'd be 6. It's about 6 square inches that this tank has in terms of like the actual area that the feet are. Like the contact with the floor. It's about 6 square inches, and the tank probably weighs between 250 and 300 kilos, which is half of what the other one will weigh. So from this one, 6 square inches is nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if it can take, you know, because like the actual force on the floor is being amplified just by the fact that the feet on this thing are so small. Whereas in the big tank, it will, you know, in what will be the big tank, because you know the 250 kilo one is the big tank at the moment, but the new big one will be spread over a square meter, and so, you know, you're talking about the force exerted on the floor by the current big tank is probably around 100 times greater. You know, like 50 to 100 times more than what will be exerted on the floor by the new big tank, just based on the fact that it's going to have a square base. But, you know, it was just the fact that, like, the numbers should work out, but going through those numbers with someone that has done it themselves is a lot more different than going through it on your own. You know what I mean? And, you know, they were actually helpful. And it's like, oh, God, why didn't I just fucking speak to this guy the first time? But yeah, So considering what I want to do is actually somewhat sunny outside, and I probably should be digging, but at the same time, what else am I going to do? Am I going to go back to Borderlands 2, where I might be able to play it for what, a few hours at well, no, definitely not a few hours, like an hour at most before it crashes. And the thing is, with the skill randomizer thing, is it randomizes every single time you load the game. Every time you close and open the game, it randomizes the skills, and it's like, I've kind of given up. I was going for Boar on Sal. You know, I kept re-rolling until I would get Boar. And then I realized that, actually, why would I bother? Because I can just open up Cheat Engine and just create black weapons. You know what I mean? I can just do that, and well, the game's not gonna fucking stop me, so I might as well. And so I've just been running around with like 10 times spawns on, but also with a Norfleet that has like an infinite mag size, you know, like never needed to reload, and also like 100 times faster projectiles, so it's like basically instant, and fires 25 projectiles instead of 3, and does that several times a second. And it's like, you know, why shouldn't I just run around with black weapons and just have fun with the game? Because I mean, I did also enable the dialogue remover, because Borderlands 2 is not a good game. Borderlands 3 is objectively better. Civ 6 is worse than Humankind. Borderlands 2 is worse than 3. Objectively, pre-sequel is better than 2. Which is possibly the most controversial thing I could ever say. You know, it's bordering on annoying our fascist rulers that have taken over England recently.